which kind of industry you are into, and what is your business process that you follow?
Sure, we are a consultant for radio stations. So we do market research and audio tests, music tests for radio stations to help them determine what direction their station's going in or what music to play.
And how was your experience working with Kcloud as an implementation partner?
Sure, it's mostly been helping us with Salesforce. We usually like to do most of the work ourselves in Salesforce as Salesforce admins, but whenever we're working on something and we hit a limitation of what we can do or what Salesforce can do, and we need some sort of development, then we can call Kcloud, and it's easy to explain, and y'all do a good job of understanding what we need and fitting it in, and then we can get right back to work and finish whatever our process is. So we rarely are looking at a complete solution, but it's basically our project's on hold because we hit something that we just can't do with the platform as it is. And that some places it can take a lot of time to figure out what it is and integrate that in, and it's like, okay, this is something small, but you made it a big process. But with Kcloud, it's almost like we have, it feels like part of the team where we can just go and say, this is what we need, and it gets done, and then we're back to work. So that's been great for us because there's just times where we do a lot of project management within Salesforce, which is not really what Salesforce is for. So there's a lot of times where we're 90% of the way we want things to be, but there's something holding us back, and we need some sort of development to do that. And Kcloud comes in and does a great job of doing that work for us, and so much more of our process is automated now than it was 5 or 6 years ago, where instead of being manual, asking everybody where they are on the process, the company has a much better idea of what everybody's up to, where projects are, and a lot of that's been because of Kcloud. It also helps a lot with, we do use Salesforce for marketing a lot where we hadn't before, where a lot of the work that Kcloud has done for us has been getting information where we need it. Because with radio stations, there's a lot of unusual relationships between people, our contacts, and the radio stations and the corporate level. And so a lot of our work has been dealing with the fact that it's not a simple, somebody at the corporate level might be in charge of urban stations, so they're not in charge of all the stations that are under that corporation. They're only under a subsection. So working with that has been a big improvement for us, because a lot of times when we want to talk to people, we want to talk to them about the type of music or the type of stations they're working with, and not necessarily their corporate hierarchy.
Okay. So will you recommend Kcloud to your partners and customers?
Oh yes, I've done so multiple times in various groups when they ask, especially when it's because we're a small company, so we like to be pretty flexible, and are often small projects, but it's very important to us. So we've had other small businesses come to us and say, we've been trying to do Salesforce all by ourselves, but there are times when we just can't do it. And we're like,
and what was your pain area when you're working with the Kcloud?
Well, all the radio stations have various formats they work with. So there's alternative, current hits, urban, whatever it was. And then they have the corporate level where they might own a country station, a rock station, whatever. So, and they change all the time. Some, station would have been rock and then decided to flip formats and something else. Well, we would change that station, but then we needed to know that corporate level now is also working in country when it wasn't before, or something like that. So to get those updates rolling through various hierarchy of the corporate, it was Salesforce would roll it up, but then it would say alternative and rock, that's a duplicate. I only put alternative and rock. But if I put alternative and rock in one market and alternative and country in another, words, it would say those are not duplicates. So it would put alternative twice. It was not recognizing that multiples, you have to break them down to individual levels before determining if they're duplicates. Hope that made sense. But so we had to create some logic there of defining what exactly a duplicate was, and that's what Kcloud came in to do, those roll-ups where we wanted more logic to it than just exact matches. There had to be parts of it could match, and we wanted to get rid of those. I'm trying to remember what else we worked with. It's always been stuff like that, where it's like we wanted something specific to us that Salesforce, by default, didn't do it the way we wanted it to do it. And it would just be in the middle of that process. And we were like, no, we need to do it this way. And like another thing is that in Salesforce, contacts have a single account, and that doesn't work for us. So we have something we created called account contact relationship. So an account can have multiple contacts, can work with multiple accounts, and they may not even be within the same corporate hierarchy. They may be totally separate. But we wanted everything on that contact to be based upon those account contact relationships and not their account. So we had to create entire logic for that of, when I'm looking for somebody that works with country music, I don't want to know just their one account. I need to know all the accounts that they have relationships with. So that was another one that's very similar, where we work differently than Salesforce works by default, so we needed some development to add on to make Salesforce work the way we want it to work.